What's going on, guys? It's me, El Brujo Urbano, or the Urban Witch, again with two-hand sorcery. So, on today's video, continuing, the conversations from last video of protection magic and all that, I decided I wanted to teach you guys how to make your own witch jar, or your protection jar. What this is basically, as it says in the name, it's a jar. Could be a jar any size, does not matter as long as it's a jar. Could be glass, could be plastic, does not matter. Jar. And what this jar is meant to do is absorb any and all negativity that is sent towards you by any type of enemy, visible or invisible. And not only does it block it and absorb it, but you have the option to make a specific jar so it can reverse the attack and send it back, or even as a jar to transmute the negativity into positivity and into more success. But today we'll be focusing on the protection part of this. Okay, so some of the ingredients that you will need is obviously a jar. Remember, it doesn't matter which size, just a jar. You will need tobacco, okay, graveyard dirt if you have any, church dirt if you have any. Okay, you don't need every single one of these. These are just some ingredients that you can use. The list is completely up to you, or whatever is accessible to you. It does not matter. These are just some of the ingredients. I will see if I can put them up on screen or in the description, so just so you guys can have a reference. Okay, but if you're someone like me that I like to prepare some of my own stuff, so this is a curse breaker powder that I've made. It contains licorice, calamus root, and hyssop. All right. I have another version which is not only a curse breaker, but it's also it uncrosses you and brings prosperity. And this one's made out of peppermint, calamus root, hyssop, and rue, and you add van oil. Okay. Obviously, these mixture of powders, there's a process. It's not just crushing them up and putting them together and voila. There's a process of consecration and blessing that you do upon these mixtures of herbs. That's what gives them that magical power, that extra kick. So, also you can use nails, you could use needles. If you want to reverse it, you can use a broken mirror, piece of broken mirror. You can use broken glass. And this next part is one of the most important, since it's a protection jar for you. You will have to include something personal. And what I mean by this is a tag lock, physical tag lock. It could be a strand of hair. Obviously, I can't because I shave. It could be a beard hair. It could be your saliva. It could be any bodily fluid. Yes, it could be your own urine. Preferably your own urine. I know it gets kind of gross, but witchcraft isn't always nice and clean. But yes, you do need bodily fluid. So, what you are going to want to do, right, is open your jar. I know there are some witches who like to cleanse the jar outside and in with the incense. You can do that. I don't personally do it. I work slightly different. Okay. So if you want, optional, cleanse the jar. All right, have it opened. I like to start off with a little prayer because you guys, as you know, I've mentioned it before that my practice is Christian centered, so there's a lot of praying. So I like to open it up with a prayer, right? And then I call out to Saint Cyprian, who is the patron of all my work. And then this is where I like to grab each and every item, whichever one that I choose, whichever ingredient that I choose from the list. I grab each and every one and I pray over them. I ask Saint Cyprian, I ask God. Of course, you can adapt this to whoever you work with. You don't have to necessarily pray, to God, the Judeo-Christian God. This is a protection jar. It could be Christian, it could be pagan, does not matter. It's a protection jar, period. Okay, so I open it up with the prayers, Saint Cyprian. I grab the individual stuff, the ingredients, and I consecrate them. I bless them and I consecrate them. I give them their purpose, right? Their use in this ritual. For example, I consecrate and bless these nails to be served as a binding of the evil that tries to find me and bind it to this jar and not me. You know, to, like, for example, with the tobacco, to protect me and to cloak me from enemy eyes, enemy energy, anything negative that's sent towards me, so on and so forth. Okay? After that, I include the tag lock, hair, saliva, urine, tag lock. Okay? I close the jar, put a black candle on top of it, a black candle. Black is for protection and for banishing. In this case, we're using it for protection and to kind of seal this protection into that jar. So you let the candle burn out, sealing the jar. Careful with fire, do it in a safe space. Have something handy in case it gets out of control. And then when it completely burns down, it is ready. You just have to store it in a dark place where light will not reach it. It could be under the sink, it could be under your bed, somewhere in your closet. If you want, you can also bury it. Be considerate, though, that when you bury, you are burying a glass full of possibly harmful things. Make sure you bury it far and very deep so no animal has access to it. Or you could bury it in your backyard, front yard, if you have access to one. Same thing, bury it really, really deep as you can go, not getting too crazy, but so nothing can touch it, nothing can reach it, so nothing can get hurt. But yeah, and after that, it is basically done. You have your witch jar blessed, consecrated, activated, and ready to go. And that will serve as kind of like a decoy. So whenever someone sends you some, bad vibes, negativity, wants to kind of cross you, block your ways, this jar right here will be the one to absorb it. Okay, but keep in mind, this alongside other wards and other protections is going to make your protection, general protection, a lot better. So hopefully you guys learned and hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And stay protected.